It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We're talking property on your Feel Good Breakfast show this morning, and when it comes to property, architecture is defined as the process and product of planning, designing and constructing buildings, meaning that it exerts an influence over all facets of the home and the buying and selling of it. Simon Bray of Private Property joins us to share some examples of very unique and beautiful architecture we can find within our beautiful four corners of South Africa. Simon, very nice to have you on the show this morning. And I think it's true, we have a beautiful country, but I think we have the most unique architecture as well. But when it comes to architecture, how does it influence the value of your property?
Well, I think firstly you've got to understand that only about 15% of homes in South Africa are architect designed. So immediately there's this element of exclusivity. Great architecture is so much more than just a pretty facade on a building. It's really how the building sits on the site. It's the flow through the various rooms. It's the way light comes into the space. So all of that really adds value to a property.
And I think we really have the most talented architects in the world working right here on South African soil. What are some examples? Take us across South Africa. Where would we find really beautiful architectural houses?
Well, we found two beautiful examples of great design. One glass house on the hilltop in Bolita, and a lovely Stellenbosch home. Johan Sleer designed a fantastic example of modern farm building.
All right. So you mentioned the Bolita one. Let's focus on the Bolita House. What is unique about the house? Apparently it is really beautiful. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, from a design point of view, it's quite interesting. It's on a very unique site. It's on the hilltop. Used to be an old water reservoir. So you've got 360-degree views, Indian Ocean in front, beautiful farmlands behind you. And the home itself has really utilized that view site really well. It's got glass all the way around, beautiful design inspiration from steel bridges and ships, which really give it quite a unique character.
That's very interesting. So how does it actually enhance the actual house itself? And also, it fits into the environment, as I understand.
That was one thing that's quite interesting. Certainly a modern trend in architecture is this idea of sustainable buildings. And this one in particular has got some passive environmental principles in the design. So, Bolita being a warm area, it's got this underground rock garden to cool the home, which is really cool. And some other interesting elements. It's got PV cells on the roof and a wind turbine. Actually pushes power back into the grid.
Yeah, and I think this is a big trend, when it comes to building houses now, is to be more self-sustaining.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the Stellenbosch home, you mentioned beautiful farm kind of house, but with a modern twist. The architect says Johan Sleer Architects. What was the design brief when it comes to building this house? Describe it a little bit.
Well, it's his personal home, which is quite interesting. So he took inspiration from the farmlands of the Cape area, and he's introduced it into the building. So it's very interesting. You've got this kind of barn architecture with these corrugated iron sidings on the building, these thick stone walls. In actual fact, the stone that's in the walls is from the Cape Castle area, so it's got a lot of link to the heritage of the Cape.
Definitely sounds beautiful and unique. The inspiration, how would you describe that? Where did they get the inspiration for this house, this very unique designed house?
Well, I think if you just stand in that region, you can feel the sense of nature. And in his living room, you've got access to the beautiful garden outside, which is this natural fynbos garden on the one side of the house. And then on the other side, you've got this natural organic vegetable garden that just terraces down in front of you. So it's a fascinating place.
That's it. I think the surroundings normally play a very big role in terms of the inspiration when it comes to building a house.
Yeah, no, they do. They definitely do. South Africans love their outdoor scenery, and when they get the opportunity to bring it into the home, they do that. And architecture is one of the ways to really do that well.
Yeah, and make sure that your house blend into the environment. Your tip of the day, knowing that architecture, of course, plays a very big role. If you would like to sell your house using the architecture to your advantage, what would be your tip?
Well, architect designed or not, every home has got an interesting aspect, a dynamic design element about it. So you really should maximize that unique feature. So if you're listing online, which of course you would, take photos of the home and take photos of that unique feature and make sure that it's maximized online. So, in the case of that Bolita home, for example, make sure you get the views and the beautiful glass facade.
Simon, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us a lesson in architecture. Now remember to watch Win a Home tonight at 8 p.m. on SABC3 to find out more about these two houses that we have been talking about this morning, and also to find out how you can enter to win prizes throughout the show, as well as go into the draw to win the grand prize, the completed Win a Home apartment. Connect with the brand new show on Facebook, Twitter, and also via their website.
The best address on TV is inspired by private property. Start your search for property now on privateproperty.co.za.